The Fourth Amendment of the U.S. Constitution protects individuals from unreasonable searches and seizures. This means that law enforcement cannot search or seize a person or their property without a good reason or a warrant. The amendment is designed to ensure that people have the right of privacy and that law enforcement acts within legal boundaries. Example 1. Let's say, for an example, a car stop. When a police officer pulls over a vehicle, they must have a valid reason, such as observing a traffic violation or having reasonable suspicion that the driver is involved in illegal activity. During a stop, the officer has the right to ask for the driver's license, registration, and insurance information. What rights does the driver have? The driver has the right to remain silent. The driver does not have to answer questions beyond providing identification and vehicle information. Right to refuse consent to search. This is an important one. If the officer asks to search the vehicle, the driver can refuse. However, if the officer has probable cause, like seeing illegal items in plain view, they can conduct a search without consent. Right to know why they were stopped. The driver can ask the officer the reason for the stop. How far can the officer go? The officer can check for outstanding warrants and conduct a limited search if they have probable cause or if they believe they're at risk to their safety. However, they cannot conduct a full search of the vehicle without consent or probable cause. I'll give you another example. Standing on a corner in a high crime area, a lot of people say red light districts and things like that. If a police officer sees someone standing on a corner in a high crime area, they may approach the individual to ask questions. The officer may be suspicious due to the location and the behavior of the person, but that alone does not justify a search. What rights does the person have? The person has the right to walk away. If the officer does not have a reasonable suspicion that the person is involved in criminal activity, the individual has the right to leave. Right to refuse questions. The person can choose not to answer the officer's question. That's on you. They are not obligated to provide information unless they are being detained. Right against unreasonable searches. If the officer wants to search the person, they need reasonable suspicion that the individual is armed or involved in a crime. Now, how far can the officer go? The officer can conduct a brief stop and ask questions if they have reasonable suspicion, which is a lower standard than probable cause. However, they cannot search the person or their belongings without probable cause or consent. The person has to say yes. They have to agree. If the officer feels there's a threat to their safety, they may conduct a limited pat-down for weapons, known as a stop and frisk. Better yet, a Terry stop. Now, in both of these scenarios, which a person has to use their common sense, I don't want anybody to get beat up or put in a chokehold, but in both scenarios, individuals have the right and have rights that protect them from unreasonable searches and seizures under the Fourth Amendment of the United States Constitution. Understanding these rights is crucial, as it empowers individuals to stand up against unlawful actions by law enforcement. Police officers must operate within legal boundaries, and any violation of these rights can have serious consequences for the legality of their actions, whether it's an arrest or a lawsuit. Free the real.